Welcome back, everybody. Today is Wednesday. We're finishing the day green. Let's just get straight into the video, the recap. I have the TraderVue stats here. We're up 2,000 on the day. Average winning trade 45, average losing trade 19, so over 2 to 1 risk reward ratio, about 50% win rate. Um, Holding winners for 30 seconds and then losers for 15. So cutting those losers fast, holding the winners. Profit factor of 2.35, and let's go get into today's recap. Alright, so we start out the day with this halt up on VCIG. I see the halt level is at 590 and it's running into view up right now. It had a high at 5 a.m. in the morning, or 8 a.m. 8 a.m. in the morning market time, and then it continued to sell off into the open. But as the open happened, we got this nice 20-cent dip, and it starts looking like it's gonna rip up. I don't want to take it with too much size because it is the first trade of the day, but it does look good for a break through 80 up to 90. So I'm taking it here at 80 with 250 shares, looking for the halt up at 90. I want to see it stick up at 90. It's starting to stick, and so I take off half of it into the halt up. BGLC was our main stock yesterday. We made 600, 700 on it yesterday. Today we weren't able to click with it as much. We did get green on it initially through a couple of nice trades through like the opening range breakout here at 180 till 187, 188. And we were able to get up 100 on the day through a couple of those trades. But we end up giving it all back, going right on it. And because I had used small size on this initial run up, and then once I got green on the ticker, I sized up. But during the size up, I caught like a 5-cent flush, put me back to right on the stock. VCIG resumes, and we take the rest off at the hot top because it only resumed flat. So I was watching it, it resumed flat, took the rest off at 90, 89. Trying to get a bottom bounce there. Let's see. So it's doing a micro pullback here at 70. I'm looking for this back over 80. So in at 72, taking it off at 67. And getting back in 75, watching 80. There's 80, taking it off there at 82. Took it off a little bit early. It does end up going to 6 almost. So I get back in for the break of 6, then we get out at 609. 609. 621 is the halt up, so I'm watching the halt up, getting back in for the break of 10. There's 15. Doesn't want to hold 10. It's kind of holding 6, but it's kind of failing. So I'm thinking about getting out. Does it hold 10 though? 610. It's holding. Watching 20. 21's the halt up. So watching the 21 the halt up. It's hitting 21. Their halt level moves up 36. Selling at 36. Half out at 36. Rest out at 30 and I believe 36. 34. Yeah. Nice trade there. Gets me back to green on the day. So there's 36. Is it going to halt up at 36? The bids are starting to stack up here at 36, but it might be too. It might move up again. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's halting up at 36. Still a little bit under the weather. I should be better probably by tomorrow night. Sniffles now. Sorry if you hear that. So yeah, BGLC wasn't able to really get this one. It was moving somewhat like it was yesterday, but I feel like I might have just been using too much size to get out at the ask, because I was trying to get out at the ask like it was yesterday. It just wasn't working. That's not really the So for the first half hour today, I was kind of just trying to find a footing. Wasn't really hitting on anything particularly except for BCIG, which I was up almost $1 a share on 250 shares. Watching the squeeze here. There's 84 halt up, and at 31, taking it off as it comes back down at 34. So this candle's not looking that good. But back over 50, I'll take it. At the same time, BFS starts moving, or it's halted up. I'm waiting for the resumption. Or no, it's halting up. I missed it, so I just switched back to BCIG. Okay. Nothing really happening here. Take a couple trades on Peloton here, Piton. This one's a higher float, so I used a larger size for a $5 stock because I could the higher floats will tend to move less. So you're not worried about a 5-10 cent drop because there's lots of big buyers, lots of big sellers. They kind of move like penny stocks a little bit, the higher float stocks, in the sense that there's not that many flushes. Was only able to get a little bit green on this one, $37. And then AGIL starts shooting up out of a halt. I didn't see it had halted up on low volume. Was it a halt? What time is it? No, it wasn't a halt. It was just low volume at the time. So yeah, I'm using small size because it's low volume. Watching the break of 30. There's a big seller at 30.27, so I'm trying to get out at 30.20 as the bid comes up, which I was able to get out at 30.20. Taking a small size win. Who knew, actually? This one, I was here from the beginning. Huh. AGIL was my main winner today, so I'm surprised I was pretty much in from the beginning of the move at 29, 28. I thought I got in much later. So yeah, this one starts moving, but it's on small size. BFS, I believe I take 25 shares of this. Yeah. On a dip trade here at 41. Trying to get a dip here at 41 as we get some green on the tape there. It's not exactly the best entry. I guess if I had taken it off at 41.25 or between the spread, it would have been a good like half a dollar win. I was just a little bit too slow. So I took it off for, yeah, actually no, I got it out at 41.25, never mind. If I take a second one, I re-enter high at 41.50 and I get out at 40.70 or something like that. So this one, took a couple more small tries trades, end up down 53 on it. Actually, yeah, down 53. And we switch back to, let's see, where is AGIL? Oh, I missed this. Here we go. BCIG, this one was chasing halt levels. So let me go back here. So this is another setup I really enjoy. Other than the sub $2, sub $1 stocks that I really enjoy, when a above $2 stock is chasing halt levels, I really enjoy getting on those micro pullbacks for the new halt level up. So here we have a high of 702. This is just a high day break, taking it off as it gets close to 7. Looking to add back maybe. Oh, I missed that trade. That was a beautiful 20-cent trade. But getting back in on the micro pullback at 712, seeing if it holds 7. Small size because of its higher risk. 36 is the halt up. Watching 720, there's 36, it jumps up, taking it off at 36. Now 44 is the halt up. Is it going to hold the halt level or is it going to dip back down? If it dips back down, I'm going to get in. Watching. It's kind of having trouble getting in into that halt. It's dipping back down, getting in there at 26. That's a miracle fill right there. 26. But because of that low fill, usually when you get a really low fill, like surprisingly low on a market order, it's usually because there's more sellers at that moment, which means it's probably going to come down in price. So watching it, it comes down. I get out at 23, but it ends up popping back up. So I might have gotten a little bit too scared just because of the price action on it. Being the fact that if it did break down 20, probably would have broken all the way down to 7 flat. So I wanted to get out to reduce risk, which was totally fine. I just, in this case, it ended up being wrong, and it did end up bouncing off 20. It get back in there at 27, and hollow up moved up to 56. Now watching 56, holding this position a little bit longer. Watching 56. There's 53. Is it gonna inch up to 56? It's holding 40s. Is it gonna break back over 50? Taking half off, taking the rest out at 38. Now I'm watching a micro pullback, seeing if it wants to hold 40s. So it's holding 40s again in at 43. And I think I take a loss here at 35. Yeah, 36. Watching one more time to break a 50. There's a big buy there at 35, so I'm trying to get in. Yep. That would have been a great spot to get 500 shares in. Oh, yep, I do actually. Okay, never mind. 500 shares in. Watching. There's the break. 57. High a day. It's holding 50 with buyer. There's 65. There's 76. Look at that. Beautiful trade. They're getting some out at 71. Watching 76. Is it gonna stick finally? It's kind of coming back down on me. I should be getting some out here, taking some profit. This is a little greedy here. Okay, I'm taking a quarter out. In at 44 average, I should be taking some more out. Out the rest there at 53. Ends up going back up to 60 for a moment, but back down to 50. Okay, so 76 is the high now, with 85 being the halt up. Getting on this micro pullback. Watching 50 for my exit. Getting out at 61. Back in at 67, 69. Watching high day break. Is it going to break 70? There's 70 break. There's 75. It's kind of double topping at 75. It's going to break 75. Adding at 75. Watching 80. 85 is the halt up. There's 83. Taking some off at 84. Watching 93 halt up now. Watching 93. There's 93. Is it going to stick? Getting out the rest there at 93. Okay, watching one last time. See if we get any more. Or does it halt up at 93? It's kind of thin. It's dropping back down and back in at 77 on the dip. Out at 81. Okay, there's 90. Back in 83. Out, break even. Back in 87. Watching 90 now. Is it going to hold? Halt up's at 801. I get out, break even. Watching 90 one more time. Is it going to hold 8? 801 halt up. And at 89. Bids are coming up. Is it going to touch 801? It's kind of stuck at 8. Taking off half at 8. Another half out. 7. No, taking a loss on the rest of the shares. Wait. Is it going to hold 90? No. Getting out 86. Taking a small loss on the rest of the shares. Back in on the dip. Cutting as it comes back down 70. I actually get filled at 66 there. Was a little bit slow on that exit. So got 4 cents of slippage on it. I believe that's my high day on ECIG. So back to AGIL. This one, while I was trading this halt area, this whole from $7 to $8, AGIL had made a secondary move. This was the initial move we traded before, but it made a secondary move from 28 to 36, which I missed out on. Which you could say in a way that technically that's the opportunity cost for trading VCIG. Um, because VCIG is higher price, I have to take less size on it. So I made less money than I probably could have made on AGIL at that time, that same time period. But it was really good trading. I'm not disappointed in how I traded VCIG. I just wish I had the guts to take a little bit more size. But we'll get there eventually. That's not something that we learned overnight. So I'll eventually take more size on setups like that. I do like those setups where it constantly pushes the halt level up, but doesn't actually halt. It makes a lot of sense to me to trade those setups, so I'll be looking out for those. But it's going to be a while before I can size up and actually take big size on them. Because that kind of setup that I was trading on BCIG, I could have easily taken 1,000 shares, even 1,500, 2,000 with no problem in slippage. But I was taking 250 shares and 500, so there's a lot of room to scale this. I could have made 1,000, 2,000 on that if I had used a bigger size, but you know, I'm just not there yet. So we'll get there eventually, maybe next year. But I'm gonna take my time. In the meantime, the sub $1 stocks, I can size up like crazy on them because those are my wheelhouse. So we'll see this on AGIL. Here it starts to break out through 35. I see there's more volume in this than there was before, so I'm comfortable taking full half starter size. Watching for a break at 36. There's 36, 36.50. Taking it off. There, 36.80. There's 37. Taking some more off at 37. On the ask. Bids come up to 37. There's the break. Adding at 37.30. Watching 38. Taking some off at 37.90 and 38. Probably should have added a 38 there. Just like a small add of like 2,500. Comes back down. We have a topping tail there. Buying the dip there and taking it off as we have that big seller at 61 or 36.30. Getting back in because the spread is really tight, so I can afford to take this with larger size, and if it doesn't work out, I can just get out right away. Oh yeah, I remember this. So the spread here is 1/1000th of a penny, so I'm getting in here with my risk being just basically flat. And then if it doesn't work out, I can get out. So it looks like it's starting to get red on the tape. I'll get out for a break even. But then it ends up flashing 38. And it backed it. So it flashed 38 and then it backed down to 36.01. I tried buying right there when I went back down to 36.01. I get filled at 38. So a little bit of a unfortunate fill. I wanted to get filled at 36. Got filled at 38. Which is basically a $100 slippage if you count the 5,000 shares. Getting out, taking the loss, accepting the fact that I got the bad fill, and then just coming back for another stab. As it shows it wants to hold 37. There's 37.50, 37.70, watching 38. Seller there at 36.760. We're gonna break that seller. We are. There's 37. Or no, we didn't break that seller yet. Basically, I trade this the same way I've been trading all the other penny stocks. Just taking 5,000, 10,000 shares. As it squeezes up, taking some dip trades. So here I gave back some money on these dips here. But buying there at 35, because it's kind of an extended pullback. Taking it off as it comes back down to break even. Let's see here. A couple small scalps here off of VWAP. Then as it breaks VWAP, yeah, here we go. So as it breaks down VWAP, it makes a low, just breaking VWAP just by a little bit. And then we're watching 34 for this thing to start reclaiming highs at 38. So getting back in 34, there's 35. Starting to add some size now that we're starting to confirm the breakout. So I lowered size on this pullback, adding back the size as we get that 35, 36 area. There's 34.50, 34.70. And as we're confirming 35, I think I add another 2,500. Let's see here. Green on the tape, watching 80. It's not ready yet, so I get off at 34.50. So, small winner. It's not ready yet. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So getting back in, same setup, 34, small size, and adding as we get 34.70, 34.80, and watching this break of 35. So there it's starting to get some green, adding at 35. I think, oh, I didn't add at 35. Wow. Okay. So now watching 36, it's really squeezing now. It's taking some more off. Not adding at all because it is squeezing a little bit too fast. Don't want to add at the top and then get a 2-cent flush on that add. So waiting. It's now showing 37, so I will add there because now it's like confirming the push up. Taking it off at 37.50 and 37.30, 37.10. Now we have a high of 37.75 on this candle. Back end 37. Wanting to see 38 and 38.50 high a day. Now we're starting to put bigger size on this. 10,000. Watching 38.40. Taking some off 38.30 and 38.06. There's the high a day break. Taking some off at 39, 39.30. Adding back at 39.30. 39.60 high a day. There's 40. Trying to take some off at 40. Getting filled a little bit. Comes back down, take it off. And here we're starting to get a nice cushion on the day, so I can start to afford to take bigger sized 10,000 shares. So 2,500, 5,000. Just pretty much playing the high a day breakouts, tiny scalps, making about 50 or a fifth of what's it called? Making half a penny on every single position. Taking it off there for break even, small loss. As it comes back down to 40, I don't want to hold this down to 39. There it goes down to 39. Below 39. Taking a starter there as 39 holds. But got out. I don't know why I got out. That was a good entry. Yeah, so right there I might have panicked out for no reason. That was a botched trade. It breaks 39. We break back over 39 with green with a big SPY wall. So I get in 38.90. Big buyer at 39. I should not be out here. I must have thought that it broke down and that was 38. Like a big buyer at 38. Because it was very weird to have just that one order at 39. That must have been it. Anyway, Back in 39.50, cutting it 38.39. And a majority of the day just kind of went like this. It was just a lot of small scalps near the highs, taking some dip trades as it comes back down to the EMA, taking high day breaks, same sort of trading, just trading the range here. 44 now highs. So it comes back down one more time to VWAP or close to VWAP. And right here, I think it was up like 1,100. A little bit more. Yeah, right here. Yeah, right here. So my P&L on the day was 1,111.10. I was considering calling it there because our AGIL was kind of fading off VWAP. VCIG was getting a little bit hard to trade. And I was like, you know, it's a funny number. It's a funny number to end on. It's a good day. And my main stock is kind of dying a little bit. So I was considering ending here. You know what, but take a couple more trades, and AGIL starts moving out of nowhere again. Back over 40, and from here, keeps going. 40.30 is now the level I'm watching for far high of this move, with 41 being the high right here on this candle. So watching now 40.30 break and 40.50. There's 40.70, watching adding as we get that 41 level starting to show up. Adding again. Getting aggressive for 41. There's a big seller there. So taking some off, taking half off. And there's 41 breaking, so I'm adding back in. This type of move cannot be... You don't want to size small on this because this is the move that will squeeze out the shorts. So it just broke below VWAP and it's breaking back up with some nice like gumption behind it. It's got the momentum is at its back, so the wind is at its back, so there's no reason to not. So I missed it. There we go. There's no reason to not size up on this. So I'm sizing up, taking the big size. We get the break up to 43 there, and I'm like starting to see this topping tail. I'm like, is it gonna end here? Are we gonna come back down to VWAP? At 10,000 at 41. I'm up 1 cent. So I take it off at 41.50 for half a penny. During this whole move, I only made 200. That's because I missed most of this initial spike. So watching, taking small size here before 42.50, and then I'm going to be adding into that breakout of 43. There's 44. 44.80 is high day. 44.80. There's 44. Breaking. 44.80. 45. There's 47. 48. Look at that squeeze. Look at that squeeze. There was no way to get out there, but very beautiful the way it squeezes here. 44.50, 45. So I'm adding at 44 there. Another 2,500 shares, 8,000 shares, 9,000 shares at 43. We're showing 45. There's 48.60. A couple people got out there. Maybe got in there. Hopefully they didn't get in there. But they got out there. These are probably short orders actually covering. I don't see longs getting in there. So these are probably short covers. But big spread there as I'm trying to get out. So I got out half at 45 around. And then the other half, I'm taking it off at 46. And let's see. Yeah, 46. So I got out at 45 and 46, or 45. Yeah, 45 and 46. Even though it squeezed all the way to 48. Then as it's holding highs, I get back in. Smaller size, watching to see if it wants to hold 48. Doesn't want to hold 48. kind of, not really, so I get out for a small winner. Back in 47. Out, break even. Back in. Now it's holding 48, so adding back. There's 10,000 shares. Taking it off at 47.40. Not good, because it doesn't end up holding. So yeah, I took a small loss there. So 48.60 is high a day. Watching that high a day break. In pretty high, so if it does come down, I'm probably going to be getting out. Yep, out at 48. Taking the small loss. Back in 48 as a whole, let's back out. Watching 47, is it going to hold? So in at 47, with this average at 47, I can afford to add a little bit higher. Watching that seller at 47, it disappeared, so I took it off. It reappeared, adding back in at 47. Just big size there, 10,000. Seeing if 47 is going to hold. My average is good. I have that seller to sell into if I need to. Take it off a little bit prematurely there at 47. It does end up holding, so yeah, I'm kind of churning shares here just because I'm a little bit scared of a flush. Of a flush down to 45. So yeah, getting back in, 10,000 shares, same position. There's 49, adding to 15,000 shares, taking half off at 49.40, other half off at 49, and the rest out at 49.30. Great trade there. Back in as that micro pullback. Taking it off here, I think, for a loss at 47. Let's see. Yeah, loss out at 47. And then that was the best. That was the biggest trade of the day. The 15,000 share one. The rest of these are, yeah, there's 15,000 again actually. Watching 49, 49.60. And this one, yeah, I took off for a loss at 48.30. So back in for the break of 50, 10,000 shares, watching 50, adding, taking some half off for a profit, and then adding back as we get 50 looking to break. There, okay, so there, let me go back 10 seconds. So I took half off because 49.90s were kind of being resistant. I wanted to take half off into profit at 49.80 because I was in at 49.20. And then as we get that break towards 50, I add another 5,000 shares back with that big buyer there at 49.89. So adding another 5,000 shares, but then we get the break. It only breaks up to 50.01 by 50. And then we go right back below 50. So I'm like, okay, well, that was not the breakout we wanted. So I get right back out. Take it all off at 49.97. So I don't want to get caught in a false breakout, but back in for 50 break. Is it going to break 50? No, it's still kind of not really breaking 50 the way I want, so I get back out, break even. Big buyer there. Do I get back in? Yep. Watching that big buyer. It's getting back out. Okay. It's not really moving the way I expect it to. So I'm kind of getting back in and out within a couple seconds of each other. Trying to make sure that I'm not going to get stuck in any flushes. So back in here, watching the break of 50 this time. Selling a little bit premature because I don't believe in the breakout of 50 yet. Taking it off, 49.90. Big stop buy wall there at 49.80, so I take it this time with big size. Watching 50 break. There's the break, 50.50. Does it hold 50 though? It's not really holding, so I'm probably going to get back out at this sell wall. Yeah. Out at 49.80. And the rest of the day was just the rest of the last 20 minutes was just making that last $100 on the day. So I go back down a little bit, and then I hit highs there at 217. So ending at highs. Very nice day. Ending at high a day. And the reason I called it was because AGIL, it had made its high point, and it looked like it was going to get choppy at this point. I traded a little bit of this chop to make that last $100, but at that point it was very slow, and I just wanted to call it a day. It was a great day, um, and I wasn't going to be trading any of these anymore. Um, I was also just kind of exhausted because I'm still under the weather, so trading for 2 hours was a little bit exhausting. All right, but yeah, that was today's recap. I'll be back tomorrow, another recap. Let's keep the green streak going. Uh, if we have a red day, that's totally fine, but I want to keep this green streak of discipline going. So making sure we keep our discipline. These last 5 trading days have been very, very good in terms of keeping that small size until we start getting that breakout on the day of the P&L. So until the P&L starts to really start to break out to like 300, 400, that's when we can start sizing up, and really sizing into those trades. But until then, we want to keep the share size small, and so that we don't have any big red days. All right, it's been working out very nicely, so I'll take care and see you tomorrow.